My name is Meredith Kendall, and I want to talk to you about an attack that happened on my life January 20th, 2011 in Nashville, Tennessee. We were partnering with an organization in Nashville that had an after-school program for children who were in trouble with the law, and then also they had a residential program for women who were in a drug or alcohol addiction and also coming out of an abusive relationship. On Wednesday night, I went to teach with the kids. There was a gentleman standing on a front porch. I kind of waved at him and smiled and went about my business. And Thursday morning when I got there, he was still standing there. So again, I waved and was just kind of neighborly and smiled and went about my business. When I got done teaching, I got into the van and put everything away. I'd opened up the van door, and I felt like something was standing right there. So when I turned, the first punch took me down in between the van door and the frame of the van, and there he was punching me. And I still remember going, Lord, this is going to hurt when he gets done. So can you send your angels to protect me? And I seriously believe that God sent his angels, because he took off running like somebody was chasing him, and there was nobody on that street. I called my husband and said, honey, can you cancel my cell phone? I've been mugged. I carried 2 cell phones at the time. And then I hung up, and then I called 911 and got the ambulance and the fire truck, because everybody there. They then put me in the back of the ambulance and drove me the 500 yards up to the hospital that I was just teaching at. Because my husband couldn't get there as fast as a friend could who had a business down in the Nashville area, he was able to get there and see me and be with me before Rob was able to get to me. Rob was met in the waiting room with our friend, and he warned him. He said that I had not been mugged, but actually they had beat the hell out of me. And when Rob came back, he was at least a little prepared to see me in this state. They did some CAT scans, MRIs, and were able to find out that the orbital bone had been broken in my face, and that I could lose my eyesight, and later in life, my eye socket could droop. The next day, the news had gotten a wind of it and had run a special on it after interviewing me. And our phone started ringing, and it actually was an ex-gang leader. And he started asking us some questions. And so we told him that the only thing that was taken was my cell phone. And he said, exactly. It was so you couldn't call for help. It was actually a hit on your life for the work that you guys were doing. And now we find out it was a botched one, because he should have taken my life. The next few months were quite scary. First of all, my cell phone was gone, and he'd never been caught, and kind of went on lockdown. My husband became my bodyguard. I didn't teach, and again, he still hasn't been caught even to this day. But God. 18 months later, I was actually called and invited into the Ohio prison. It was under the Victim Awareness Act, because now I was a victim, and I was able to come in and teach. They said I was going to have about 150 guys into this prison, and we made arrangements to go up and teach. During my teaching time, I actually asked a lot of questions. So here we are, we've got about 150 guys. They've pushed back all the bunks. I'm in this cell. I'm up here in the front. Rob's back on a bunk with the chaplain, and everybody's kind of lined up in these chairs. And then about 2/3 of the way back, while I'm asking questions and kind of interactive, this guy knows so much about me, knows so much about the program, that I cannot wait to get done so I can find out who he is. The second I am done teaching, Rob and I converge on this guy and start bombarding him with questions, asking him who he is, why does he know so much about us, and what's going on. And he looks at us and he says, you're not going to believe this. He said, but I was in one of your original classes when you first started teaching in Williamson County, Tennessee. He said, I was transferred up here. He said, and just this morning, I asked God, if you are really real, would you please send me an angel? He said, and in you walked. I looked at him and I said, do you know I had to be beaten up 18 months ago to be a victim so I could be allowed in here? We knew that God had a purpose for this, even if it was just for that gentleman. But in my whole process, I've had a lot of healing that I've had to deal with. I had PTSD because of it. I have since been healed. I've been able to use that healing to help others walk through their PTSD and their healing. And I continued to watch God use that event. But I had to be willing to say, I am willing to talk. I'm willing to use this so that it does not keep me in bondage, keep me in fear. Because if I can help one person overcome their fear, or to know that God is real, or just to say, God loves you and He hears your prayers, then that was what it's for.